Well, hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm your host, Randy Rosenbaum. In a moment, I'll be joined by Tarek Fattal of the LA Daily News. Softball and baseball is going to be the story of the evening. Darrell Davis of Castaic is going to join us momentarily. And a little later in the program, we're going to talk Pacifica softball, that group from Garden Grove that won the CIF championship at the highest level. We have Bryn Nally, their outstanding pitcher, and the coach, Tony Arduino. They'll join us in a little while. Excited to talk to Bryn. I have an NIL proposed deal for, not really, but I want to showcase how NIL deals, name, image, and likeness, works. But Tarek, let's first chat about, you're laughing. What did I do wrong?
Why is it always about money with you, man?
Because I got to pay for your meals when we go out to dinner.
Okay.
I got you on that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I recognize you this week because it's 2 weeks in a row now. You don't have the mustache.
Okay.
Jay Serra wins the baseball championship.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, beating Santa Margarita.
That's right.
Great games. Two teams from the Trinity League. 1-0. They both had their aces going, so this isn't a great surprise that it was a low-scoring game.
8 innings, I believe it took, and you can't get a better coach in all of the state of California than Brett Kay. Just a stand-up guy, doing it for all the right reasons, a great coach, instructs his players. Happy for him.
What I like is both teams, their first 6 in the lineup are all D1 commits. That's insane, and you end up having a 1-0 game. I know the game you want to talk about is Crespi.
Yep.
The Celts in D2 beat the South Hills Huskies 6-5. But that's really not the story. The fact is the Celts were down 5-2 and had 1 at-bat left and rallied for victory.
I couldn't believe it. I call it the obit. I had an obituary written up for Crespi. Their season was done. They go into the final inning, and this is a ball that gets thrown away, and Chris Arce scampers home from third base. They score, if my math shows me correctly, 4 runs in the 7th inning to win the game. It was unbelievable. This is coach talking to the team after the game. Everyone was beside themselves. I'm with Eric Sonheimer from LA Times in the press box, and we're just looking at each other. We couldn't believe what had unfolded. That's right. Crespi comes back, scores 4 runs, and has a walk-off championship performance.
All right, let's talk about Castaic. I know it's a subject matter that we're going to get into greatly with their head coach, Darrell Davis. They won the championship of D6 against Hesperia Christian. Easy win, 7-0. But what strikes me, this is really only the second year they were playing high-level baseball.
Only the second year for the varsity program. They had to play in the really competitive Foothill League. They find a way to get an automatic berth, and they just ride really great baseball, good pitching. And Darrell Davis, the head baseball coach, started the program with just freshmen in 2019. That's when the school opened. And here they are, they're CIF champs. Maybe the best nugget of the whole thing is as much talent comes out of that Foothill League, Castaic's only the second team ever to win a baseball Foothill League title. Hart did it in 1999.
Yeah, they did. All right, it's time to bring in Darrell Davis, beaming with joy. Now he's in Las Vegas from, I guess, the winnings from, he couldn't gamble on the game, so I don't know where he's got the winnings from to go to Las Vegas. Darrell, great having you on the program. Congratulations, and how surprised are you that you won a CIF championship this early in the school's existence when it comes to baseball?
Number one, thank you for having me on the show. I am surprised, I'll be honest with you. We started off very young. We started the program in 2019. 5 of those kids were the ones that were able to celebrate with us last Friday when we won. A lot of hard work. And like Turk said, we are in a very tough league. You're talking Hart, Valencia, West Ranch, Saugus, just a tough league. And what we did and the amount of work that we put into these boys, it was huge for us. And it's huge for our program and huge for the community of Santa Clarita.
Darrell, when I went up to Castaic once this season for your first playoff game, and it's really way the heck up there, man. You guys are up on this hill all on your own, but there's a sense of community there. How important was it?
Yes.
And did you feel that kind of just pride from the community when you got to hoist that CIF trophy?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Santa Clarita is becoming a really big area, but it is fairly small too. And baseball has always been one of the biggest things that people always kind of celebrate, and they go out and we have a lot of travel ball that goes on in Santa Clarita, and again, just it's a tough league. So, I mean, we told our boys this year, you knew you're going to have to just come out every game and give it all. And we were very fortunate to have really good pitching this year, with one senior, and we have a junior. You saw Tyler Hahn. We gave the ball to him in that game at the end, and he was able to bring it home for us. We have a lot of young talent that will be working with this summer and in the fall. So again, yeah, it's huge for the community. It's huge for all of us, and we felt that the crowd seemed to got bigger and bigger as we kept moving on and getting to the finals.
That was going to be my question to you. The community. How much of an uproar was there after you won a CIF championship?
I think after the game, and I was able to get on the bus, I probably had close to about 72 text messages just from people that have been friends and family and ex-players that I've coached in travel ball, and actually a couple of my ex-coaches that coached me. So it was really cool. A lot of phone calls, still getting a lot of calls. It's just been an awesome feeling. Had Hunter Green, his father, Russell Green, who's a good friend of my son and our family. He called, congratulated us, and was able. Hunter donated some cleats that the boys got yesterday for our whole baseball program from his foundation. So it's just been a great feeling. Feels great.
Last one for me, Darrell. When you think, listen, we're celebrating your championship. That's what we're talking about. But for anyone watching, if people that want to know about your program, what is Castaic baseball all about? What are the foundational things about Castaic baseball that have led you to a CAF championship in just 2 varsity years?
You know what? Just we work hard. It's kind of a family atmosphere. We tell the families when they come in, look, we're gonna treat your son like he's our own. Um, we're tough sometimes on them, but we love them, and we tell them once you guys walk down that hill, and you've been there, you saw the hill. When you walk down that hill and you go to the parking lot, just don't take anything to heart. Just know that we care about you. And the next day we come back and we do it all over. And huge part of education too. We're always checking the boys' grades and making sure that they're doing the right thing in the classroom too. And it seems to just been a real big part of our culture that we're building there at Castaic.
They're telling you to take it to heart, to make sure you beat Hart in the football league. That's what they want you to do. You know, Tony, you're going to probably be a Division 5 or Division 4 team next year, so you're going to move up in the ranks. We wish you well. It's a great story.
Thank you.
Did I call him Tony? Tony's the
You
next
did,
coach.
yeah, you did.
Darrell, we got so many coaches on. Darrell, great to talk with you. Great to know you this week. And congratulations on Castaic winning the Division 6 baseball championship.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Good guy, Darrell Davis.
Really great season, because I would run into Darrell and be like, hey man, Castaic, we're going to have a good little team. I'm like, okay, Darrell, I'll get out to you when I can. And the whole season went by. I'm dealing with the Mission League, a little bit of Foothill League, and some of these other great, city section. But then they get into the postseason. They start stacking these wins, and a story starts to develop of this team that's only got 2 years of varsity baseball experience, and they go on to win the whole thing.
So did JW North in softball. They beat Village Christian. This is a JW North team out of Riverside that won 28 softball games this year. There's the score against the Crusaders, winning it 2-0. This was a game that had great defense, showed power, and JW North wins it. They've had a tremendous year. When you go 28-3, That's remarkable play.
It is, and I know that was a stout, very competitive game. Village Christian is a team that I'm a little more familiar with. John Forgeson's the coach. He used to be at Chatsworth. They won 2 city titles.
Just retired today.
Correct, just retired, and so Village Christian is a team that was well coached and just came up short.
This is a catch by Michaela Noon that's just spectacular. These are the kind of plays you get at the softball ranks now. These young ladies really know how to play, and Noon, young lady, hits over 600 as well with a great catch there. And again, they made plays, and numerous double plays, and this is how you win championships.
Village has a pitcher named Bree Brennan who's very, very good and had a great year, but I think just sometimes you just run into a better team on a day, and that's where you got to give JW North the credit, and they're deserving champs.
They really are. Remy Martinez is in the circle. Here's part of her catch and double play. In fact, that's the last one. She had the double play earlier. So that's great. She's a young kid. I think she's just a freshman. So to get the win, that's JW North. They win the championship 2-0 over Village Christian. We're going to turn our attention to Liberty. They're up in Menifee, California. Give me Liberty, or don't give me death, but give me Liberty. Liberty wins, knocking off the Irvine Vaqueros. This was more of a slugfest. They scored 5, and again, this side of the team from Pacifica, who scored 15 in the finals, 5 runs normally is going to get it done, and did here.
Not too familiar with these teams, Randy, but I will tell you this about CIF championships. What happens is if you end up dealing with something you haven't dealt with all year, whether it be more scoring than usual or low scoring than usual, it becomes hard to overcome those things.
Yeah, Haley Kitsero with the home run, the 3-run blast, which was the difference in the ball game, 5-2 for Liberty over Irvine. And really, again, they made plays as well. Both teams hit the softball pretty well, as you see a runner come in there. So the final 5-2, and we wish them well. We're going to talk a lot more softball when we return. We're going to talk about Bryn Nally, maybe a potential NIL deal. We're going to talk to Tony, the coach. That's next, right after this from Pacific Surfliner.
Southern California has always been a land of discovery. From historic gems to iconic beaches to top attractions. Let the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner be part of your journey as you explore more of the place we call home. Reconnect with the communities you love most, with the people you love most. Isn't it time you rediscovered Southern California?
Well, Norco was the top-ranked softball team in the area. Many believed that they would win the championship, but Pacifica Irvine, a very young team, outslugged them in the finals, 15-9 to win the D1 championship. There it is. Big win for the Mariners.
Last week, or the week before the final, whatever show that was, you asked me who I thought was going to win that game.
And you said
and
Pacifica.
I said Pacifica. I said, I think it's their year. They're kind of this team of destiny. They're on a run, and they are this unstoppable force.
Looking at these highlights, we got Bryn Nally, winning 15 games this year, striking out over 170 batters. Just a great year. What strikes me about Pacifica is the fact that they're really young. They started one senior in the game. So they're a year ahead of schedule to get the big victory and to beat Norco, a team that's won so many championships.
What stands out to me, what is so kind of makes your heart warm a little bit, that crowd sounds outstanding. I wasn't there at Deanna Manning Stadium. I was at Blair Field covering the baseball championships, but it just seems like everyone was there for this game, and I heard that the crowd and the atmosphere was fantastic.
Yeah, so it was a big win, 15-9. So let's bring Tony and Bryn in. We're going to talk to two people I really like. Got to know them a little bit before the show. Tony, first and foremost, congratulations. Bryn, I'm going to get to you in a moment. We're going to have some fun.
Oh, gosh.
But, Coach, 15-9, I'm used to 1-0, 2-1 softball games. What happened?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us on the show tonight. I don't think anybody expected a 15-9 game. I know we didn't on the Pacifica side of it. I knew we were going to have to score some runs because we knew we heard a lot about Norco's high-powered offense. So I kind of coming into it, I figured we would need 7 or 8, and 7 or 8 wouldn't have got it done actually, but 15. I think it came down to obviously, we had lots of good at bats and we strung them together. And neither team, really played great defense on the night. I think there was 6-7 errors between the two teams, which is not like either team. But, when it was all said and done, we had a couple big innings, and that was the difference.
What was more surprising, Coach? Scoring 15 or letting 9 get scored on you? If you're being honest, what stood out a little bit more to you that's a little bit hard to believe?
You know what? We have a really good offense, and we have a pretty good offense, and giving up 9, that surprised me. But like I said, we didn't play great defense, and Norco puts a lot of pressure on you. There's no outs in that lineup. 1 through 9, they put pressure on you. So I think giving up the 9 runs was more surprising for me because I know our offense, and I know we have the ability to put runs on the board consistently. So I think giving up the 9 for sure.
Miss Nally, fine to talk to you. I'm looking forward to this. All right, your last 3 games are against Oaks Christian. You beat a very good team from Los Alamitos, and now you have to face Norco. Mentally, how do you get through a gauntlet of teams like that? How do you pitch very well against squads like that, game after game after game with the pressure on?
Well, of course, those teams have great offensive lineups, and I really just was going to trust my defense and trust my team. We have beat La Salle in the past 2 years, and so I knew that if we beat them once before, I had the confidence in the team and myself to do it again. And, it definitely was tough going into that game, all 3 games really, because I don't think really anyone was thinking that we could do it, but I knew that the whole team and me myself knew we could do it, and I think that's all we really needed was our integrity, which is one of my coach's favorite words. So our integrity really got us in those games.
Bryn, Randy had mentioned it earlier, this team is really young. Did you know you had, coming into the year, did you guys feel like it was a team that could win a CIF championship, or was there a point in the middle of the season where maybe you got a big victory and then you kind of looked at each other and went, wait a minute, we could be really special? So, yeah, did you guys kind of know before, or was there a turning point in the middle of the season where you guys felt like you could do this?
I definitely think we always had it before. We've had a relatively young team for at least the time that I've been there. I came in my freshman year and we had 5 freshman starters on varsity. So I definitely think that we've had a relatively young team for the time that I've been at Pacifica. So I don't think that there was any surprise going into this season that we did what we did. We obviously had a little bit of a rough patch this season, unlike our past 2 seasons, but the fact that we did turn it around and came through in the end was definitely just amazing.
Coach, do you feel like you stole one and you're a year ahead of schedule?
I told you before the show started that this team has a talent to put ring. I tell them all the time to put a ring on your finger every single year. I think we just it really came down to just getting hot at the right time. Brent alluded to it a little bit. We had a rough patch. Really the first half of the season we didn't play well, but we stuck with it. We stayed the course, like we say. And we got hot at the right time. When we didn't win our league, I think that was kind of an eye-opening thing for our team. But once that didn't happen, we didn't meet that goal. We still have that opportunity to get hot at the right time and to peak at the right time, and that's really what we did. I mean, we were playing our best softball the last 8 games of the season, and there's no doubt when this team plays to their capability like that. I mean, there's really, in my opinion, there's nobody that can beat us.
Now, Bryn, be very careful what kind of ring you get. I don't want you to get married too young. You're only a junior in high school. Make sure it's a championship ring rather than like an engagement ring or anything like that. All right, I'm going to have some fun with Bryn because I like her. She's a sweet young lady. A proposed NIL deal. I got a nickname for her.
I can't wait to see this.
Down the alley with Nally. Okay, that's her nickname. Okay, so we're going to take her to a bowling alley. This should be her sponsor. Okay. And we put it up, and I just found a bowling alley out near your area, Fountain Bowl, which is real. Okay, the theme would be Grin with Bryn, so happiness. So I gave you the nickname, Bryn down the alley, Nally, and your tagline on your TV commercial, one line, if I can throw a strike, you can throw a strike. Remember, it's bowling. So there it is. I have given you an NIL deal. Do you like it? Is it something you'd like to do?
You know, I've actually been to the Fountain Bowl, and I don't mean to brag, but I am pretty good at bowling, so I think that's pretty characteristic.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
we didn't manufacture this. This wasn't done ahead of time. Last question for Bryn. Where do you want to get better next year? You're only a junior. I know you're on your way to Long Beach State. You've already committed, and congratulations. How does Bryn Nally get even stronger and better in her senior year?
You know, I would definitely say increasing velocity with my pitching and increasing spin, as well as increasing my offensive side, like getting a little stronger and being able to hit more balls out the park, because that would always be nice.
Congratulations, guys. Maybe we'll have you back next year. 2 in a row, it can happen. It happened to Jay Sarah in baseball. Why not Pacifica in softball? Congratulations. Great, great, great job with a young team. Tony and Bryn, enjoy the rest of the night.
I like how you think, and thank you for having us.
You got it. It was our pleasure. That was neat. Did you like my NIL deal?
I just,
You didn't. Okay.
I try. I wanted to yell at her and just be like, hey, be honest. If you hate it, tell us. But no,
She's too nice.
I think too nice. Too nice.
You know who's not too nice? Carson in softball in the city section.
Oh, man, this game.
This was a wacky game. I mean, Carson leads 10-0.
Yep.
Blows the lead with 5 errors in the 6th, allows 10, and then they get a 2-run homer to win it late from Langford. 12-11 Colts. I like Carson. I told you that last week.
Yeah, you did. I thought nobody was going to be able to stop Granada, and here's Carson now, the city Open Division champion. Granada decided to opt out of the regional playoffs, so they're not playing. But yeah, to give up 10 is crazy. But then to give up 10 in one inning, Dick Dornan, the city section assistant commissioner and sports information director, was there at the game, and he was saying that those runs were just wacky. Lots of errors, the ball getting thrown all over the place, and runs just kept piling in.
Now, the game before that one, the D1 game, had 2 teams just really close to each other, San Fernando and Chavez. And I want to talk about this game because it was such a great game. It was 7-6 that Chavez won this game, and it was a walk-off hit to win it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get not just a city section final, there's the correct score there, but these guys are right next to each other. They are literally walking distance from each other, and so that's always adds a little more excitement to a final.
Yeah, and the Eagles won their last 10 in a row, I believe it was, and they went 11-1 in league, so they are to be congratulated. All right, let's check out some city section baseball scores, and I know, Tarek, you were at these games. Palisades losing to Birmingham 5-1. A lot of people felt this was the Dolphins' year. They were the number 2 seed, but they had a deep pitching staff. I was talking to a lot of different people from Pacific Palisades when we had them in other sports and when we talked volleyball last week, and they felt they were going to win this year. But this is a disappointment, I think, to lose to Birmingham.
Well, you're burying the lead a little bit. Daniel Flores threw a no-hitter.
I was going to get to that.
Okay. Yeah, so Birmingham's pitcher, Daniel Flores, listen, Mason Edwards is the pitcher for Palisades. He's going to UCLA. Big arm, talented. It's really a great, sparkling, shiny toy on the mound, right? Then you got Daniel Flores, who's not even 6 feet tall, maybe 5'10", but he hits his spots. And there was one pitcher that was better on that day, and it was Daniel Flores. I don't even think Mason Edwards lasted 4 innings. That's just the truth. And Birmingham was on fire.
Yeah, that's just a tremendous win, and Birmingham has been to the city championship game now 5 out of 6 years. They've won it 3 times. At one point, they won 3 in a row, and it became the Birmingham Invitational for a while. All right, let's talk Division 1. Remember, in the city section, that's the open division. And here we go. Oh, we got the one other semifinal too. We want to get that in. We're busy tonight. This shocks me a little bit because Granada, for the 3rd year in a row as the top-ranked team, does not get to the finals. How disappointing is this for Granada?
It is, because they won the West Valley 3 years in a row. So this is the 3rd year in a row Granada won the West Valley League. It's the third year in a row they got the #1 seed in the Open Division. The last 2 years they got bounced in the opening round. So this year they get past the opening round to the semifinals. They come up short again, but credit to Carson, erased a 1-run deficit twice in this game.
And they'll play Saturday at Dodger Stadium, as will Sylmar. Kind of surprised by Sylmar getting there.
Love
and
it.
Kennedy.
Love it.
So that's the D1 setup. Here's how they got there. Sylmar tripped up San Pedro 3-0. That's just terrific because over the years, San Pedro's been a highly regarded baseball program in the city. So terrific job there by Alex Martinez throwing a
Correct.
3-hitter.
Freshman.
And then the other semifinal game had Munoz throwing a 5-hitter as Kennedy wins 2-0.
Two great pitching displays, and that sums up great softball and baseball postseason games. If you got someone on the bump or in the circle in the softball that is feeling it and you can't hit anything, you're going to have a hard time winning.
All right, who do you like in those championship games at Dodger
Give me
Stadium?
Birmingham in the Open and give me Sylmar in the Division I final.
Sylmar?
Yes.
Again, Kennedy has the more storied tradition.
Give me Sylmar. Ray Rivera, the head coach, been there since 1999. Right. Was a player for San Fernando in 1991. Was an assistant coach at Sylmar. Last time they were in the final, 2002, but they fell short. Now he's back as a head coach.
How about Granada Hills winning the city track and field championship? Dijon Stanley, the big man on campus. Now Carson's girls won it.
Correct.
Rain Redmond, their great sprinter, helped the Carson Colts girls win.
Dijon Stanley, the fastest time in the 400 in the state, fantastic. And then the Granada Hills boys 4x1 relay, also the #1 team in the state, the #1 time in the state. It would not surprise me this Saturday in Clovis, where the CIF state championships are being held, if Dijon Stanley wins 2 state championships, one in the 400 and one in the 4x100 relay.
How'd they do in football? They came close. They came one.
Well, they won the city championship.
They won the city championship,
right.
but I'm saying they came
State
close to a state too. They were one game away. So yeah. All right, Carter Bryant's a name that a lot of basketball guys know. He's just a tremendous performer, 5-star recruit, Sage Hill. He's now transferring to Corona Centennial, who's won championships the last few years in the Open Division. How big a move is that?
It is a big move. It's a little bit of a kind of a deep breath like I'm doing now because you just don't know. The landscape of high school basketball and high school football is so ever changing because of the transfer era. So here we go, a high-end player going to Corona Centennial, an already powerhouse program under Josh Giles. We'll see how good they actually are. Him alone is not enough. They're going to have to add some more pieces.
Well, Josh told me last season, they had all these seniors who graduated and all went to D1 programs, but he felt he had like one of the best young groups he's ever had there. So those young players will step up, and then with Brian added to it, I got to imagine they're going to be powerful again.
Yeah, they lose Jared McCain, Devin Williams, Mike Price, Eric Freeney. Isn't he the one that
Freeney? He's the one that
got
had
the dunk
steal.
at the end, going to LMU. He's like, it's Aaron McBride.
McBride had the dunk. Freeney's coming back.
Freeney's coming back.
Freeney's coming back.
So Aaron McBride. So they lose 3 Division I commits. Corona's not going to be as good. Carter Bryant helps them. How
much are you looking forward to Dodger Stadium on Saturday?
I'm looking forward to Dodger Stadium because it's always such a prestigious event. Randy, you've been to Dodger Stadium for the city finals way more than I have. It's fun to be up in the press box. It's an early morning, 10 a.m. game, a 1 o'clock game. The baseball's always good. There's Dodger dogs. There's always a great crowd. The grass is plush. The lines are pristine. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
And what I love is the kids will pick up some pebbles or dirt and put it in their pocket.
Keep it for
because they want that memory of being at Dodger Stadium.
Yes.
It's so important to these young guys. And, also the fact that the Valley, who's been so dominant for so many years, now you have a team like Carson that's scrappy, but you don't really give them a great chance against Birmingham.
It's not that I don't give them a great chance. I just think that Birmingham's going to have the better pitcher, and we just got done talking about how pitchers really dominated the semifinals, and you got the guy on the bump. I just don't Carson has not played someone like Birmingham all year long, and so I just think Birmingham's going to take the title. And the last thing I'll say about Dodger Stadium, it's always the last great event to cover in high school sports. It'll pretty much it always puts a nice pretty bow on the end of the prep season.
And how many Dodger dogs is the over and under for you in the press box?
I'm probably
See,
good
we
for
get
like
them.
2.
we get them for free at a certain point.
Yeah. But I like 2. I'm not a big hot dog guy.
I might beat you on that one.
I've seen the food you put together there. It's like you make like a hot dog salad.
Yeah, with the peanuts and the whole thing.
You're weird.
It's kind of ugly, actually. Unlike this show, this was great. We thank Pacifica's coach, Tony Arduino, and Bryn Nally for coming aboard and talking about their team winning a CIF championship in the Southern section in softball, and for Darrell Davis winning at Castaic in baseball. Just a great tribute to him in only his second year. We'll see you next week. That's it.
I'll see you on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's almost next week. Sunday's officially next week, so I'll see him on Saturday. For Tark and our LA36 group, I'm Randy Rosenblum. Next Thursday night live right here at 9 p.m. for SoCal Prep Report. Good night, everybody.
You know those like national hot dog eating contests?
I've been in it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I was in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Okay, how many did you eat?
I did
What
10.
time?